Hugh Dunleavy is Commercial Director of Malaysia Airlines, and he joins us from Beijing. Mr. Dunleavy, hello to you. 6 days in, are you any closer than you were right back at the beginning at establishing what might have happened to this plane?
No, I'm afraid not. We've had all of our search and rescue assets from a large number of, almost a dozen countries that have been searching the areas, both in the South China Sea and on the west side of Malaysia. But so far, we have found no trace of the missing aircraft.
There's been a lot of rumour in the absence of fact this morning that the plane, there were reports that the plane had flown for 4 additional hours. There was the Chinese satellite image that was released apparently accidentally. All of this confusion making it very, very difficult on top of their already very distressing times for the families, isn't it?
It is. It's very distressing because whenever you get that information, by necessity, you have to investigate. And that sort of behavior has started really from the very start, where there were stories that the aircraft had landed in Nanning in China. And of course, then you have to contact the various authorities and find out. And all this diverts people's efforts from focusing on the real issue, which is where is the aircraft located and how can we find it as quickly as possible.
What is the focus of the search right now?
The focus of the search now is basically moved back into the South China Sea. There are assets on the west side of Malaysia which will still continue searching, but the focus has always been on the flight path of the aircraft, which was heading out of Kuala Lumpur towards Beijing. And as you rightly reported, after we lost contact with the aircraft just as it left Malaysian air traffic control jurisdiction, it was never recognized or located by the Vietnamese air traffic control, and subsequently never entered Chinese airspace either.
You will presumably know from your conversations with the relatives of the Chinese passengers who were on board the plane that there is growing anger, there is growing frustration, and there is growing suspicion among some of the relatives that you, the airline, and the Malaysian authorities might know more than you're letting on, perhaps even know where the plane is and won't or can't say. Are you being entirely transparent with the relatives?
We are definitely being 100% transparent. We have our own crew members on board. There is absolutely no reason why we would be hiding any information. We certainly are not doing so. We have been contacting and working with all of the appropriate authorities in every jurisdiction to help find this aircraft.
There are a number of different theories that are being explored. While there is no definite information about what might have happened, whether that be a hijacking, whether there have been an incident of decompression, catastrophic failure of the aircraft, also that of potential foul play by the crew. Can you rule that out?
At this stage, it's all supposition. Our goal is let's find the aircraft and let's get the information and then do the in-depth analysis to find out exactly what happened. There are too many rumours being spread and pundits coming along with all sorts of scenarios, none of which we can verify until we physically find the aircraft. Our focus is find the aircraft and have our search and rescue people focus on that. In the meanwhile, Malaysia Airlines has also been focusing on the family members in each of the countries where we've had passengers on that plane.
What about the growing tensions between the Chinese and the Malaysian authorities? We know that the Chinese Premier has demanded a step up in coordination. China's civil aviation chief has said he wants a smoother flow of information from Malaysia. There has been heavy criticism, hasn't there, of the handling of this disaster. Do you think it could have been done better?
I think it is a reflection of the sheer frustration, I think, felt by all stakeholders in this incident. We don't know where that aircraft is. It's a complete mystery at this stage, as previously described. Until we find that, I think you'll find many of the people are going to be increasingly frustrated as time goes by. And most importantly, we are more concerned about the needs of the family members who are trying to find out what happened to their loved ones. So it is a frustrating environment. I'm sure Sorry?
In practical terms, then, if your focus is on the family members at the moment, what are you doing to help them and support them?
So I actually arrived on the first flight out of Malaysia that brought our support team, and I brought 93 caregivers to work with the families, and we made sure that as many of them as possible spoke Mandarin so that we could communicate with the family members. And we've been doing that ever since. The team have been fully engaged working with the family members. It's a stressful situation on both sides, but most important is to take care of the needs of the family members, and that's what we've been doing. We have family members now in 5 hotels here in Beijing, and we bring them all into a centralized hotel each morning to give them a briefing update, let them know what we found out. That actually can be very frustrating for the family members, because each morning you're telling them that search and rescue still has not found the aircraft. Nevertheless, there are other things that we've been doing in terms of organizing their passports. Many of the family members did not have passports, so we organized that for them with the Chinese authorities. Then we organized visas so that we can get them to Malaysia, so that when we do find the aircraft, we can take them to Malaysia and then eventually take them to the scene of the aircraft.
As we said, a lot of theories, but just finally, what do you personally think might have happened here, Hugh Dunleavy?
I'm not going to speculate on that. There are too many things that could have happened. I simply don't know. And as I said, my focus will be, let's take care of the families and let the professionals who are doing the sea air rescue look for the aircraft. When they found it, then there'll be a detailed investigation to find out what exactly happened.